Hi there, Stitchers. Good morning. Hope this video finds you well. My name is Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and I am here for a works in progress update. This was not originally my plan for this video for this morning, but circumstances have led me to just go ahead and show you my works in progress, and then I will record the other videos at a later date. I'm sitting here snuggling my coffee because it is so good this morning. I missed my coffee yesterday, and I'm a coffee addict a little bit, so excuse me. Okay, I'll set that down. Okay, so works in progress. I have 4 to update you on, 2 of which are new starts. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know what this is all about. But if you don't, or if you do, I'm showing you anyway. Hope you're okay with that. So I guess that I will go in order of the one that I worked on after, what am I trying to say here? After my last update video. And so that would be my Shadowlane knot garden. Frosty knot garden, okay. So here is where I'm at with that. Let me try to fold this over so I can better show you. There we go. Okay, so what I had finished when you last saw this is basically just the blue in there. A little bit of the outline here, but these shapes here are all new. So those are new additions, as well as the little floral motif there in the corners of the frames there. So that is my progress there, and you see the trees. Try to twist that the right way. I can never get this right. There we go. The little trees. And those will be beaded with different colored beads across the project. I didn't work on this for a whole lot of time after I last updated y'all on my works in progress. And that's for a multitude of reasons. First of all, one of my least favorite things to do is work in white floss. I don't like white, especially not on white fabric, because I like to see at a quick glance how much progress I'm making. And so you can see the white stitches I've made there, but only if I zoom up. If I back up, you can't tell that there's anything else in there except for the trees themselves. So I'm not a huge fan of the white, and it was kind of cumbersome to work on. I will have to do it, and I will, you know, of course, but I just, for whatever reason, I don't like doing white on white. The other issue that I ran into is that I want to bead so badly right now. I don't know why, but I'm in the mood for beading. And it took everything in me not to put down my floss needle, pick up a beading needle, and just work on the beading in the center here. I want to bead that so bad. I have no idea why, but that's just, it's what my mood is after. And I didn't do it. As you can see, there's no beads in there. But I wanted to. So while I was working on this, I was invited to a 5,000 stitch challenge over the course of 9 days. 10 days, I think. August 1st through August 10th. And this challenge was hosted by the Cross Stitch Friendly Circle group on Facebook. I think that's what it's called. And so basically you had 10 days or so, whatever the count is, to complete 5,000 stitches. And I determined that I wanted to do a Heaven and Earth design for that because it's so easy to count stitches on Heaven and Earth designs. Just count the blocks. Piece of cake. But I didn't want to pick up my current works in progress. And the reason for that is 5,000 stitches is about half of a page, a little more than a half of a page of my current works in progress. And I would feel, I have a little bit of OCD, and I would feel weird about stopping midway through a page to move on to other works in progress, because I knew that once I completed the challenge, I wasn't going to want to look at whatever project I had marathoned. for at least a little while. And so I was uncomfortable with stopping halfway through the page. And so I didn't want to pick up purl or curl up or anything like that. And so I chose to make a new start. And I picked something simple. It is a black and white, and it is a story keep, so an SK. I mentioned in a recent video that I wanted to do an Ada project for whatever reason. And so I thought, well, an SK, so it's going to be small. I can do that on 18 count Ada. And so that's what this is. Twist it around here. Now if you follow me on Instagram, you know all about this already. But this is SK Littlest Fairy. And the artwork is from Selena Finish. And so this was the project that I chose to work on for this challenge. Now, 5,000 stitches would be a little more than a whole page. The bottom of this first page is down here. That stitch right there marks the bottom of the page. So obviously I didn't complete all of my 5,000 stitches on this one project. As it turns out, I wanted to work on an Ada project, but I don't like working on Ada. It's a lot harder to like use your intuition to get the needle up through the fabric if you're not looking at it, which, you know, is a piece of cake on linen. So it's not super easy to work on. On top of that, I don't really have a stand for it, and so I had to do some wonky yoga position basically to be able to two-hand stitch. So, I mean, you know, I accomplished quite a bit. This is about 2,700 stitches, I want to say, give or take a little bit, because it's 50 stitches across. And I really like how it's turning out. Ironically enough, this is a black and white, and there's no actual white. There's no white floss in it. But I love it. I think that it's turning out gorgeous. I think that the detail achieved with just 9 colors is out of this world, and so I will finish it, but it's going to take me a little while because I don't have the desire to work on it anymore. So then, you know, 2,700 stitches there. Where did the other 2,300 come from? Because I did complete the challenge. On August 1st, as you may know, Sticky Stitch Aish and Palette PC and I decided to start a stitch along for the Nora Corbett Bewitching Pixies. And I chose Gigi along with Aish, and Palette PC is working on Emmy, and this is what I accomplished. So this here's the broom head, which was a nightmare, by the way, because the krennic that's used is awful. It's so bad. It's 4 strands that are twisted together, but they're not very tightly twisted, and so they frayed and split all over. It was a nightmare. And then this here is the broom handle, and this is a part of her skirt, and so her hand and arm will come up in here, so it's like she's holding a little bit of her skirt along with her broom handle. And so that's that. And so this, believe it or not, folks, is about 2,400 stitches. So I accomplished it and then some. It's hard to believe that so many stitches adds up to that. I mean, that's bananas. But so that's my progress there. Really, really loving her. It was a struggle to put her down, but I'm going to talk about this at the end, but I basically had to put together a rotation, and I know that the only way I'm going to really accomplish this rotation is if I'm firm and stick to my deadlines. So I had a hard time putting her down, but I did. And I got to tell you guys, when we first started this, I was really jealous of Aish because of the fabric that she chose. I, at the last second, decided I wanted to do a hand-dyed fabric. And then at the very last second, I decided I didn't want to wait. So this is the milk chocolate linen that is suggested for this project. And at first I didn't like it because the linen, it's so stiff. Like there's so much starch in it that it doesn't give much at all. But I'm actually really, really liking at least the effect of it. I like the colors. And I'll show you guys the back. I really like the colors on there. So that's that. Really enjoying it. Can't wait to pick it back up. but not for a few more weeks. Okay, last one. So I finished the challenge, and moving on from there, I finally decided to pick up another stitch-along piece. And this is the big one. This is the Pascal Enricomo 20-year celebration stitch-along. Let me come over here. There we go. And so this is where I'm at. So this purple in here and down the side over here, over there, that was done in part 1. And so what you see here and there, that's what I've accomplished since I picked this back up. And to me, it doesn't look like a whole lot. But the reason for that is that because I am fully aware of just how huge this project is. It's just ginormous. So, you know, that much when I have all of this to go, it doesn't seem like a lot of progress, but I am actually making progress. And the other thing is that it's kind of slow stitching because for the lifelike effect, which I totally understand and I totally appreciate, it's confetti. I mean, it's just, the colors are all speckled. There's 5 colors of green in the trees, but they're speckled all over the place, so you get that lifelike effect to it. To the point where I wasn't parking, but then I moved down, this here is a flower pot, and I started parking to try to keep better track of where I am. Because I didn't grid this, and I don't think that I will. So that's that. And then once I get to the bottom of the flower pot, there are these little frames all over the place. I think there's a total of 11 of them. And there's, in each of the frames, there's like a little vignette, a little piece of Pascal Enricomo's previous designs. And I don't remember which part of the whole stitch along this is, but this vignette down here is filled in. And then there's a couple of blank ones, and then there's one that's filled in over here. And so I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep working down, and I'm going to do this vignette before I do the rest of part 2, which is to put in all the frames. I think that I'll feel a lot better about my progress if I get one of the girls in, one of the little vignettes. And yeah, so that is my plan. I don't think it's going to happen this week, but that's okay. It's not a race. It's a stitch along, not a race. So that's that. I gotta tell you, I really do love looking at it when it's further along. It's just getting prettier and prettier. This part here, it's charted to stitch 1/2, much like the castle and the mountains here. But I don't like stitching 1/2. It wasn't an enjoyable experience for me. It took me a long time to finish it. The colors don't pop as much because of the fabric. I mean, I know that that was the point, that it's not supposed to be in your face, at least not up here. But she said on the pattern, you can stitch this 2/2 if you want. And I decided that I wanted to because it would be a much more enjoyable experience. It might go a little faster because I can use the loop method rather than having to trap the thread in the back. And I just love the pinks in the flower petals. And the greens, I really do love this. It's just pretty. So then across here, it's going to say fairies dwell here. And then underneath there's a little bit of backstitch script, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but in Italian it translates to fairies dwell here, which I think sounds a little bit redundant. Obviously the Italian, it looks different, and so I don't know, so it doesn't look like it's so redundant, but because I know the translation now, I don't have any interest in stitching that. And so I think I might fiddle with that a little bit. I might write Stitched by Jessie 2014 or something to that effect. Something different. Maybe I'll try to find a pretty quote or something to go underneath there, because I don't feel like repeating myself. So that's that. And then one last thing about this, if you guys like to work on a soft fabric, I told you that the fabric for Gigi is so stiff. This is not. It's fantastic. I want I don't even know what I want, but it's so good. This is 32 count Belfast, and it's dyed by Picture This Plus. I love this fabric. Oh my goodness. It's so nice to stitch with because it's just gliding, and I don't know. I love the soft feel of it. It's really, really good. So that's that. Is there anything else with this one? I don't think so. So there's that. So those are the only works in progress that I have worked on as of late. The number of projects that I'm going to have to update you in each of these videos is going to reduce significantly. And the reason for that is that I had to put together a rotation. Because on Instagram, Amanda, thank you very much, she kind of giggled at me because I had 2 new starts at the beginning of August. And as a result of that, I counted all of my projects. I have 14 WIPs. 14! It's bananas to me. I don't even know how it reached that level, but 4 of those are Heaven and Earth designs now. And it's too many projects to have going at once. And so I had to put together a rotation. And so this is sort of what I think my rotation is going to be. So week 1 is Gigi right now. It's going to be a focus piece. And so week 1 is Gigi until I finish Gigi. Then I will pick something else to put in that second spot, or in that first week, excuse me. So this rotation runs from Monday morning to Sunday night, and then I put up a new project on Monday morning. Week 2 is going to be its own rotation between my Pascal Enricomo Stitch Along and Shadowlane. Similar aesthetics, kind of. Large projects, lots of beading, a long ways to go without really a deadline. And so I will go either back and forth, or I'll just pick whatever I'm in the mood for when that week shows up. And so this month, I decided that I wanted to work on my PR piece because I haven't touched that in a long time. Week 3 is going to be Heaven and Earth Design Week. And that does not include SK Littlest Fairy. So that would be Mini Pearl, Autumn Owl, Quick Stitch Autumn Owl, and Curl Up with a Good Book. So I have 3 of those, and I'm going to rotate between those 3 until I accomplish, my Heaven and Earth Design bulletin board goals with those. So this upcoming Monday, I'm going to put on, I believe I'm going to go with Quick Stitch Autumn Owl because I haven't worked on that in almost a year now. And so I'd like to make some progress on that. And then week 4, I'm still kind of trying to figure out what I want to do with that, because I can either make that sort of like a free-for-all, kind of stitch with my mood, or I can make it a smalls week. So I could work on, I've got, for instance, I would consider the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Mystery Halloween Town a small, because it's relatively small. I would consider my Valentine Snowman a small. I would consider SK Littlest Fairy a small. So I have some small projects that I could work on in that week. Or I could just stitch for my mood. So, like I said, I'm itching to get back into Gigi. So I could pick that up for that last week. Or, wherever my mood takes me. So that's sort of where I'm at as far as my rotation is concerned. Now, in the mornings when I get up, I usually work at night, and so I have the majority of the day to myself. When I get up in the morning, I make my coffee. Thor either goes back to bed or he plays in the living room by himself, and I go into my bedroom and I have my stitching set up in there. And so that's where I work on my large pieces. Then at about 8:30, 9 o'clock or so, I will leave my bedroom and go hang out with Thor. And a lot of times we'll sit on the couch and snuggle and he'll sleep. And so I can either stitch or knit or pretty much do whatever while he's there. And So I have been working on my smalls during that time. So for instance, a lot of SK Littlest Fairy was accomplished during that time with Thor. So that's pretty much my plan, is that my rotation is based on that morning period. And then the later morning, I work on my smalls. And so that's why I'm sort of leaning towards the week 4 stitch to my mood sort of a thing. Either that or I can make another focus piece. Like a focus piece that I don't want to work on. To force myself to work on it, you know? I don't know. Guys, share your opinion. Let me know what you think I should do for that week 4. Should I stitch to my mood? Should I work on smalls? Or should I pick another focus piece? Comment below. Let me know what you think. So that is my rotation plan. Again, it's pretty fluid. It's subject to change. I'm new to this whole rotation thing. It's kind of making me a little uncomfortable. But I just have to take some of these projects off. I have to finish some of them. Because I'm not comfortable with having that many works in progress going at once. It's no wonder that I only have 3 projects finished in 2014, and it's August. And that's just because I start too much. I start far too much. So, anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I will be back pretty soon here. I have another video in the works. And then I have a 3-part series on the way. But there will be more details about that later. Just keep you on the edge of your seats a little bit. Alright guys, thank you so much for subscribing and commenting, and for making your videos. I can't say it enough. I just love it. I just love it. So I will see you folks later. Alright, bye guys. Happy stitching.